Well, it's official. About a half an hour ago, the state of California's electors gave Joe Biden the 270 votes needed to formally become president-elect.
Michigan electors did their part this afternoon, voting to give Biden our state's 16 electoral votes. But there was some controversy leading up to the vote. The Capitol was closed after police found credible threats of violence, and a small crowd of protesters did gather there today. We do have team coverage for you tonight. Heather Walker is in Lansing for us. But we begin with News 8 political reporter Rick Albin.
Susan, when the electors met in the Senate chamber today, there was no question of the outcome. The process was carried out as prescribed by law. It was orderly, uneventful. It's the way it always is. What is different is everything that has transpired since November 3rd on the way to the electors casting their ballots. But today, like they have every 4 years, the electors cast their ballots according to the way the election was certified by the Board of Canvassers. Governor Whitmer talked to the group before the vote about the election just passed and the path ahead.
The people have spoken. It was a safe, fair, and secure election. It was the kind of election our founding fathers envisioned when they created this democracy and built this country. And after today, the results will be final. It's time to move forward together as one United States of America. Now is the time for us to put this election behind us.
That may be easier said than done. Some Republicans have expressed opinions to the contrary about coming together. But Republican Senate Majority Leader Mike Shirkey did issue a statement today that said it was time to accept the will of the majority. The statement said in part, Michigan's Democratic slate of electors should be able to proceed with their duty, free from threats of violence and intimidation. President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris won Michigan's presidential election. It is our responsibility as leaders to follow the law and move forward in pursuit of policies that contribute to the betterment of Michigan. That was the end of the quote. Now, what happens next, at least here in Michigan, is a little hard to guess. The governor has asked for $100 million for COVID relief package, but the legislature only has 3 days left on this year's schedule, and the Senate isn't meeting tomorrow. So we'll see if the election can be quickly put behind us, as the governor called for, or if lingering animosity over it will further complicate the state's divided government. Sue, Brian.
Okay. Rick Albin, thank you.
Thanks, Rick.
There was another security issue at the Capitol this morning. Representative Gary Eisen, a Republican in the State House, was doing a radio interview and said that he would be in Lansing for a protest today. When he was asked if it would be peaceful, he said no. Republican leadership stripped Eisen of his committee assignments shortly thereafter.
Let's get to Lansing now, and News 8's Heather Walker. Heather, the crowd of protesters today was pretty small.
Yes, state police out in full force today following that threat to the state capitol. But there were definitely more police and press than there were protesters.
I'm out here to stop the voter fraud.
Making their voices heard before the vote was made official today. A group of less than 20 shouted over a megaphone, waved Trump flags, and held signs. Some saying today's protest won't change the vote, but it will create some future change that they didn't care to share.
That's all I'm going to say. I've been sworn to secrecy.
Others came out in support of the process.
I'm happy that I voted in every election, and I cannot believe that some people still don't believe what happened. They're negating my vote, my mother's vote, everyone in my family, everyone across the state of Michigan.
Despite threats to the Capitol, the electors voted in person today. Police escorts assured they arrived safely.
Thank you. Thanks for the escort.
Have you ever experienced election like this?
No, never have, and I never thought I'd need an escort to come and conduct my civic duty. So,
what do you think about that?
I think it's a travesty, but I'm here, so.
Attorney General Dana Nessel weighing in on the measures. What do you think about this process today? Everyone getting escorted by police?
Kind of crazy. Shouldn't have to happen.
At one point, Republican electors tried getting into the Capitol, but were turned away by state police. And thankfully, that interaction was just short and peaceful. Despite all of the changes, this process was able to play out safely. Reporting from the state capitol, Heather Walker, News 8.